The digital strategy of the Canara Bank is to democratize digital for all our customer segments, both existing customers and the new customers. And our objective is how digital will make change in their life through the digital solution. It is bring them the banking needs, what are they looking for, increase the engagement, activation. I'll take the few examples which are there. Many institutions are still doing the payment through the human based. So how we are putting a solution to them as a white level solution, where we are offering them where all the fees collection payment will happen through our solution. Ultimately, the money will come to your account. There's no need of return settlement. There's no need to go to the branches and make their life easy. Secondly, we have launched UPI 123. If you see many monuments in India, still the huge queues are there to get the tickets and all that. And there's also the connectivity issues which are there. So we enabled UPI 123 solution across those monuments, where from their phone they can get the ticket and reduce the queues. Plus also it is making from transferring from cash to the digital those transactions. So our focus is how to build the new digital solutions for our customers, what they are looking for, and make change in their life and democratize digital journeys across all the customer segments, both India as well as Bharat. DPI has brought a good change in the banking industry and for all citizens of India. UPI is a good example. If you take one product which is being used across India is UPI, where everybody is very comfortable, easy, convenient to use the QR scan code and do it. Now ULI surely will bring the change on the unified lending interface over the period of time. We work collaboratively with RBI Innovation Hub, where the ULI has enabled the APIs across the different asset journeys which are there and helping us in building the underwriting rules, plus also the integrations which have to be done with multiple state governments part. Let's take the example on Kisan credit card in MP. We have integrated with ULI solution, where all the agriculture lands there have been digitized, and we are able to get those records and able to give the lien against those records and able to assist our farmers to do their farming needs on the loan. So ULI is bringing a lot of changes across both farmers part across the multiple states, 7 states we are live now, plus MSME segments where the GST invoicing we are able to do any dedupe is happening or not. Now we are also working how property search I can do through the ULI based. So I am sure that ULI as it evolves will bring a lot of change and many unbanked customers will come here. In addition, I'll take an example where 10 crore women are still does not have an unbanked facility. So we are working with them through the self-help group, through the ULI framework, how we give them the loan to these women to bring them into the credit history. That way it will help them to use this credit facility for their businesses purposes and enable the woman to also get the banking needs what they're looking for. See, we ensure that all consent-based data is only there with us. And all our data, PIA information, personalized information is encrypted and masked in our database. Whatever the transactions are happening, it's masked. And all PCI DSS certificates, ISO certificates are being taken care. We don't give any data outside our data center. All data is there within our system. Any information to be shared in the cloud or anything, it's either encrypted, masked, or anonymous tokenized based information which is shared. We put a lot of investment on the technology, data, as well as on the cyber security part to ensure all the guardrails have been put in place to take care of that. In addition, any movement happens of the code into the production, it goes through multiple levels of check guardrails which are there, and no vulnerabilities goes into production. We have very strict guidelines that ensure 0 vulnerabilities are there on the code, and all source code audit happens before things goes into production. And that way, the SOC Nest, we are also investing on the Next-Gen SOC part. We ensure that both the zones are separate, dematerialized zones and the materialized zones are separate, where the data is safe. Personalized information is there. We have a 24/7 cyber security cell, which keep running and must check in what is happening, any phishing things are there, and immediately people come on the ERT call to do it. Plus, we ensure the proper transaction monitoring rules are there in pattern. Now what we are doing is, it's rule-based. Now we are putting more lot of effort on the pattern-based. Because through the pattern, I am able to detect any phishing things are there or not. and able to do a real-time detection and take corrective action on that. That way it ensures that proper being taken care, and we ensure that whatever information, minimal information is required with the access permission is being only given to the internal people, not more than that. So that way ensure that consent-based, non-PI information, personalized information masked, and any handshake happening with the encrypted part, and all the latest technology, next gen SOC on the cybersecurity, minimal zero vulnerabilities to be there, and proper controls being put in place to ensure all the data of the customer is safe. Our objective is to ensure a safe, secure, trusted platform is being given to our customers. I would say is on the fraud detection. As you mentioned rightly, the digital transactions have increased a lot with the UPI and all that. There are two important things I would say is that you give credit to the customer who has a right intent to pay back. So that is very important, that model to be there, that like you see that there are unsecured loan where the government is facing, or the MFI segment, which has come in the few days in the newspaper as well. So it's very important the right loan being given to the intended person who will pay it back. That is first thing. Second, I would say is the minimize or zero fraud. That all the controls what is needed ensure zero frauds are happening, and assist our customers a lot to ensure they feel safe in all the transactions what they do, and guide both Gen Z, millennials people, plus the future people, the senior citizens and all that, in ensuring that their money is safe everywhere, end to end for the transaction part. These two I would say. Third, I would say is we are doing anyways do near STP journey initially, where see, even in McDonald's you wait for a few minutes for your burger to come. There's no need to hurry your KYC onboarding process. You take few minutes, ensure that compliance, regulatory is most important thing to do it, and collaborate with fintech areas where the fintech are expert. And what bank has to do? Bank has to take care of those. What are the bank role is there that they have to take it, and what are the area fintech is there, collaborate with them. And compliance is the most important thing. Bank, from our side we are adhering a lot on those areas, and we ensure the bank should focus firstly on the compliance, security, and assist customers in what are the frauds which are happening. Fourth, ensure the right credit facility being given to the customer who has the right intent to pay. And that has to be closely monitored every day basis to ensure to get the customer inside behavior analytic so that proactive monitoring can happen.